Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? It's Charles here, and I want to answer some questions for a couple folks that are considering moving here to Serbia. Actually, one of them is Corey. He's going to be coaching the Pančevo Panthers, the American football team. He's going to be here in 2 weeks. And a young lady named Kaje Nicole from Canada. How you doing? Such a pleasure to meet you, hear from you. They both found me on YouTube and they messaged me on Facebook, and I've been discussing some things, trying to make their move here to Serbia a little bit easier and answer some of their questions. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. My brain's the size of a pea, but I've been here for a couple of years, so I know a couple things about getting by here in Serbia. First of all, Nicole, she's coming from Canada. She's been to Serbia numerous times. She's got a Serbian boyfriend. He lives in Loznica, which is in western Serbia. A small town, beautiful town, but she doesn't know if she's considering moving here, and she doesn't know if it's right for her, and that's a big decision, to make. When you're from the Western countries, to move to anywhere, it doesn't matter where you move. When you move to a different country, it's hard. There's struggles, things you're going to go through. It's not for everybody, and I will tell you that immediately. It's definitely not for everybody to move to a different country. The hardest thing is the separation between your family. We're 7 hours difference between Chicago and here, and lifestyle is totally different. So you said, Nicole, you're going to come here for 6 weeks to see if you can adjust and do it. I think that's a great thing to do. You need at least, I would say at least 3 weeks minimum before you would be able to decide if this is the right place for you. The Balkans, many people are fleeing the Balkans, unfortunately. All this part of Europe, Hungary, Bulgaria, Romania, all this whole area that I love, people are moving out. They're getting out because it's hard to make money here, and that's the number one reason. It's hard to find a job, and it's hard to make a salary that's livable. Unfortunately, that's it. Other than that, everything here is great. And every Serbian in the diaspora will tell you the same damn thing. If they had money, means of making a living, just to sustain themselves and to save a little bit of money, they'd move here in a minute, but they can't, and that's the truth. There's no way to butter it up, and if you want to make money, you got to do it yourself. You've got to create your own business, your own way of making money. To work for a company here in Serbia is just pathetic. I work for a company now. I do it after 3 years almost of living abroad. I haven't lived in the USA for 4 years. I've lived in Mexico for about 1.5 years total, and here in Serbia, total of about 3 years. February 27th is my 2 consecutive years without leaving Serbia that I've been here. But it's hard. I've spent untold thousands of dollars that I had saved living here. I didn't have a job, and when I do have a job, it's kind of an inconvenience because the salary is so shitty. That it's not even really worth it, to me, to have a schedule where you're there at 4 days a week to teach English at some places and you make almost nothing, I'd rather just not deal with it and do what you want, But now I do work. I work consecutively, and I work on a Serbian salary, and I help Serbian kids get to the USA and to work in the USA in the summer. And so it pays me, but it's not good, It's okay. It helps you survive here. And that's kind of how it is, If you can survive in Serbia, you're doing something, And that's what most people do. There's a joke about Serbia, I'll tell you, before you move here. It said there's an airplane, and there's an American, a German, and a Serbian sitting on an airplane. It said they're talking about how much money they make, how much money they save every month. The American says, well, I make $6,000 a month, and I save $2,000 a month. The German says, well, I make 1,000 euros a month, and I save 300 euros a month. They ask the Serbian guy says, he says, I make 300 euros a month, I spend 800 euros a month, and I don't know where I get that extra 500 euros. And that's about the truth. It may be a joke and sound funny, but it's actually true. You travel all around Serbia like I have. I've lived here. I've lived in Sremska Mitrovica. I've lived in Zrenjanin. I've lived in Niš. I've lived in Pančevo, Kotež, Munze, Konza, Novi Sad, all over this place, all in different regions, and met hundreds of Serbian families, set with hundreds of Serbian families, and they all say the same thing. They spend more than they make, and they don't know how they do it. That's kind of how it is here. you know. So your biggest factor, my dear, is going to be finding a way to sustain yourself, to sustain the lifestyle you're used to in Canada and the USA. We're similar, you know. You guys say sorry, 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 sorry. I say sorry too, because I'm from the northern part of the USA. And you say about, and I say about, but you know, other than that, we're about the same. Good standards of living, good people, friendly people. And Serbian people are very, very friendly. I think they treat foreigners better than we do. But just to some of the comforts you have at home, you won't find here, okay? And some of the ones, I don't want to make this a really long video, but what you asked me about getting along here, how will I be able to do it? Any tips? You know, the tip is find a way to sustain yourself. Find a way to make your own money so you don't have to work for a company that's going to pay you shit wages. That's a big tip right there, okay? Because that's hard to do. And it's easy to open a business here. There's a lot of red tape. There's rumors of corruption in different parts of the city. Extortion is a big thing they say in South Serbia. I'm not saying this Serbians to make fun of you, but so many Serbians have told me that. If you try to open a bar in Niš, you're going to get, hey, blah, 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 you owe us some money for protection, things like that in certain parts of Serbia. I don't know, I've never experienced, I can't say if that's true, but that's what a lot of people told me. But if you find a way to do things yourself, it would be good for you. Also, for me, the things that I do not like here, just the conveniences, okay? Conveniences in the USA, we have drive-through for almost everything, quick and easy to get in and get out. They don't do that here. We have Walmart. Unfortunately, I freaking hate Walmart. They're the ruin of our civilization. But you go into Walmart, they've got a frozen food section, canned food section, boxed food section, massively long there. You know, here there's not that. You go to a frozen food section, in most places it's about this fucking big, okay? There's nothing in there. Canned food's almost non-existent. They have these pre-made meals, Carnex meals. They're like this thick, this small. They're like, for the good ones, it's like 300 dinara, and that's like $4 almost. You know, and you can get a pljeskavica here for $2. You know, so it's a rip-off. It's just not a country for people like me who don't care about their health, who just want a quick, easy thing to eat every day when I go to the market. You know, let me show you what I have here in the thing here. This is all I buy because I don't cook. I've got mashed potatoes here. I've got pasta, spaghetti, cream soup, tomato soup, and coffee, okay? I don't cook a lot because I don't really want to, I don't even want to bother with it, you know. I like to eat out, I like to eat quick, I like to get something that's going to be ready quickly. I'm sure I'm going to regret that when in 10 more years I'm going to die young, I know. But I don't care right now. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about convenience and stuff, and that is something that you can't find here. If you want selections of things, is also non-existent. Back home, if you want hair gel, for instance, you've got 100 different kinds. Here in Serbia, most places you go, there's one kind of hair gel, maybe a couple kinds of shampoo. There's just not. It's like a monopoly on so many of these things, and that's why the prices are high. So also, when you come here, you think, when you come to a poorer part of the world where people make 200, 300 euros a month, that things will be cheap. They're not. They're expensive. Food's the same price as you and me pay in the USA. Clothing, name brands is more expensive. Shoes are more expensive. But people don't care here. They pay whatever for a pair of Nike shoes or an iPod or an iPhone. You know, things like that are frustrating. But the good things here are the people. You know, the reason I stayed in Serbia and I like it here is the people. I like the language difference. I like everything that makes it different. You know, if you drive a car, it's outrageously expensive and I wouldn't recommend it. I'd take a bus, you know, because gas is double, triple the price we pay. Registration's way more expensive, but it's included in insurance and everything, but still it's more expensive. The roads are not good, things like that. But the people make the place great, the buildings, the lifestyle. It's helped me become a better person, more laid-back person. I took medicine for years in the USA for ADHD. They don't even recognize that disorder here in Serbia. You know, they tell you just go run or go have a beer, you know, and so I do. Anyway, there's more freedoms here also. They tell us we're the land of the free. Bullshit. Serbia is the land of the free. Cops in the USA, they're looking to stop you for something. That's their job, to make money for the community. Here, it's not that way. Here, like I stated many times, I can sit in the middle of the street, not in the street, sorry, in the middle of the center of the city and drink this and drink a bottle of whiskey with 10 friends till 4 in the morning, and they don't care. There's no curfew, there's no things like that. It's a free society. Also, smoking is a problem. I've stated before in my videos. If you don't smoke, everybody here smokes. When I think of this country, cigarettes, coffee, bread, and beer are big things. I mean, that we're not so much back home. Everybody smokes. You go into a restaurant, you want non-smoking, I don't smoke. You go in one big room, maybe they'll have non-smoking on this side, the table next to you is smoking. So you say, I want non-smoking, you sit down, you're like, this guy's smoking here. They're like, yeah, but you're in non-smoking. It's like, Jesus God, doesn't smoke go all in the air? Things like that. Anyway, I think you'll have a good time. You're staying for 6 weeks, that's huge. That'll help you determine if it's right for you, because some people it's not. You're far from family, and you miss some of the conveniences of home. But I think it's a great, great place to live if you have enough money to sustain yourself. 600 euros, 1,000 euros, and you're king here. Okay, remember that. So if you have a way to make 1,000 euros a month, you're doing better than a doctor here. Okay, my dear. You asked me also, you and Corey, my friend from Washington, D.C. that's moving here to coach the Panthers, you asked me about banks here in Serbia. There's some of the big banks. It's easy to open a bank account here in Serbia. The biggest banks here, I'm going to put them in the description so you can look them up. There's the one I recommend is Raiffeisen Bank. I think it's a German, it sounds German. They're all over Serbia. To open an account, all you need to do is to bring your passport, your little white card you get from the police that says you have permission and where you're staying, and then you give them money and then you get an account. But here in Serbia, you get 2 cards because it's still inconvenient. They have an ATM card and separately a buying card for the internet. So you have an internet card and a bank card you can use at the ATM. They don't do them together like we do. Also, if you've got a Canadian bank, Corey has a prepaid account in the USA, chances are it won't work here, okay? I've got 3 bank cards and none of them, the ATMs, will work here in Serbia. I've got a Bank of America savings account that my money goes into. It's an ATM card in the USA. I can go to any ATM and use it. Here, no. It does not have Visa or MasterCard, so it doesn't work. This prepaid account, I thought, hey, I'd get one and put money in it because it's safe. If I lose it, who gives a crap? It does not work in Serbia. I called my other bank, First Neighbor Bank. It's a local bank in Illinois. Has about 10 locations, and it didn't work at the ATM. And so I called one day. I said, hey, how come my bank card will not work? It says invalid. And they look up after about the 10th person. They said, well, how close are you to a country called Hungary? And I said, well, Hungary is north of me. And they said, well, can't you just go there to use it? I said, are you kidding me? Drive to Hungary to get out $100? I said, I don't think so. They said, well, it's not going to work there. There's been fraudulent things in the past in that region, so it won't work anywhere in this Balkan region except Hungary. So you might have a problem. Call your bank and say, hey, I'm moving to Serbia for this month. How much is the fees going to cost me at the ATM if it works and if it does work? Okay. Other than that, you're going to be here 6 weeks. You're going to enjoy your time. Food's good. It's different. There's lots of meat. It's a very meat-based diet. This is a very social society. Everything is about being social. So if you're somebody that likes to go to the bar by yourself or sit in a cafe by yourself, just have a drink, you'll look like a freak because everybody here is together. So you'll make good friends, you'll enjoy yourself, and you'll live a little bit healthier. And I wish you well. Okay? Thank you. Hope this video wasn't too long or too boring for you. I tried to help. If you think of anything else I can help you with, ask me. Don't be genius.